The Gaviota Coast is the largest undeveloped portion of coastline in Southern California. It extends from Coal Oil Point in Gaviota to Point Conception near the central California city of Lompoc. It is situated within the only Mediterranean environment in North America and is an example of only 5 such areas on Earth. Mediterranean environments are located next to temperate ocean ecosystems with a climate characterized by mild rainy winters and hot, dry summers. These areas are extraordinarily rich in biodiversity. It is here, in the Santa Barbara Channel, between the Gaviota Coast and the Northern Channel Islands, that warmer ocean currents from the south combine with cold ocean currents from the north. The meeting of the currents is responsible for mixing marine plants, animals, and insects from both regions, creating a rich marine habitat that supports one of the largest concentrations of threatened biodiversity. Over the last 40 million years, mud and sand were deposited in a marine environment, forming the sandstone formations of the Santa Ynez Mountains. These rock formations were uplifted, with the oldest at the top of the mountains and the youngest near the seashore. The winter storms, trapped by the mountain's heights, have etched over 30 steep stream corridors in the region. The heavily wooded riparian zones along the water's path provide shelter for an extremely large number of plants and animals. The stream corridors of the Gaviota Coast are also home to the oldest and endangered steelhead salmon populations. This population still exists at the Arroyo Hondo Preserve and could be expanded with the restoration of other streams in the region. The most imminent threat to the Gaviota Coast is habitat fragmentation, caused by residential and industrial development. Contrary to existing zoning, we face a large residential development at the Naples town site, which could induce further development, changing the Gaviota Coast forever.
But I wanted to kind of set the stage of what this environment is and how unique it is. It's irreplaceable, exists nowhere else. And it is at the end of Southern California, of this suburban sprawl that we have experienced over the past 100 years. And this is the tail of that sprawl. And Naples is the hinge. It's that property that can either allow development to enter or keep it out. And it is the hinge at the gateway to the Gaviota Coast.
I'm Mark Chitillo, and I'm the attorney for the Naples Coalition. The Naples Coalition was formed several years ago from 7 different organizations just to fight the battle over the development of the Naples town site. Member organizations are the Gaviota Coast Conservancy, the Sierra Club, Citizens Planning Association, League of Women Voters, Surfrider Foundation, and the Santa Barbara County Action Network.
I'm Mike Lunsford. I am the president of the Gaviota Coast Conservancy, and we've been trying to protect the Gaviota Coast from urban sprawl for the last 10 years.
My name is Gunnar Tottram. I grew up here on the Gaviota Coast on Aurelia Ranch, which is where we are right now. 6th generation on this piece of property.
My name is Kristen Hoy, and I'm the Outreach Coordinator, Development Director for the Naples Coalition.
My name is Art Cisneros. My spiritual name translates to Earthman with a Good Heart.
My name is Nathan Alley, and I'm an attorney with the Environmental Defense Center. I'm speaking tonight on behalf of the Santa Barbara chapter of the Surfrider Foundation.
My current position is with the Earth Island Institute, and I work on managing funding for wetland and watershed restoration from Point Conception in Santa Barbara County to Tijuana.
We are dedicated to preserving the rural character of the Gaviota Coast, and we are dedicated to preserving the rural character of the Naples town site.
The history of the Naples property is as long as the history of civilization in North America. Dos Pueblos Creek is called two villages because at the mouth of the creek, on the bluffs, were 2 Chumash settlements.
Back in the 1800s, a paper subdivision was recorded with the county clerk and recorder, which established hundreds of lots, small residential vacation-style lots on this rural and undeveloped portion of the Gaviota Coast. Those lots sat unknown, unused for 100 years, and then some crafty land use lawyers started to do comprehensive research of the status of the county's land use records. And they recognized that there were, underneath the large lot zoning, there were these hundreds of parcels that, while they didn't comply with the zoning, they were subject to being recognized by the county and individually developed.
There are 219 lots out there. By our estimate, there are 150 that are immediately developable. Staff tells you it's somewhere around 114 to 125. There are a lot of lots no matter what calculation you use.